Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Turf Today podcast, presented by Tru-Turf, Roll-In Perfection. I'm your host, Adam Kershane, joined by my buddy, Trevor Larson. And today, we're winding things down, folks. We're getting close to the end of the year. Engagement has been low online. I think everybody that has the shoulder seasons and the off seasons have, whittled down to some smaller numbers and are doing some things to close their golf courses. So for the courses like Trev's that are staying open all year, obviously the grind continues and there will always be challenges and work to be done. Those select few that stay on at golf courses that take on winter, there's still a lot to be done. The equipment, the staffing, dealing with the snow, dealing with the ice, all that kind of stuff. It's also nice to take a little bit of time off. Hopefully some people can take some vacations. I don't know if you have anything planned for the holidays or maybe early next year, but it's important to get away, use that holiday time. If you're on salary and you get holidays, take them. Enjoy it. Take the family out. Do what you got to do to get away, and then reset, come back excited for next year, next season, because, ramps right back up and you never really get a chance to catch your breath again. So like we told you last week, we are heading across the pond today to talk to the famous Graeme Roberts. This man has a long list of tournaments he's done and some amazing feats that he's reached in his career. So we are honored to talk to him about his life and his family and everything that they have going on over there. So I am going to throw things down to California now, talk to our boy. And you did something a little different today for the pod page.
I did, where are you listening from? That's kind of neat and kind of just go over. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Got a bunch of responses.
When we start with that,
where people are listening from. Got quite a few responses. We'll go through it quickly without doing names because a lot of them are really long. We've got Hamilton, Ontario. We got New Mexico. We got McDonald's at 12 a.m. with a photo of a thumbs up. Maryland. I listen while working on the course. Gee, thanks.
Yes.
It's not where you're from.
Hot.
It's Voice Talk Dave. He's in New York.
Okay. New York.
Northern Ireland. That's cool. Chelsea, Quebec, just outside of Ottawa. We got Texas, the Netherlands, Nebraska, Bentry Golf Club in Council Bluffs, Iowa, Raleigh, North Carolina, Brooklyn, New York City, Arizona TPC Scottsdale Stadium Course, Cucci, Vermont, Stockholm, Sweden, Australia, East Coast, about 40-minute drive, island from decent beaches and surf. Thanks, Colin. You wrote on there saying Jordan Callis or Kylos. I don't know. I don't know why you wrote that in where are you listening from, but cool. Nice contribution.
That was the wrong box. As I sent it, I was like, oh, wrong box.
Yeah, way to go. Nashville, Tennessee, Egypt Valley Country Club outside Grand Rapids, Michigan, Milwaukee, Ingleside, Ontario. And then someone squeezed a question in there with what got sent to a message. We put it in the wrong box, but
it happens. Clearly, it happens. Your box moves quick, Trev. So gotta get it. But that's cool. That's a lot of reach there.
Don't talk about my box.
We'll bring that shit up. So a lot of Americans, which we know, right, to heavily listen to show in America. However,
definitely bounced around the globe quite a bit, and that's obviously only 14 responses out of the 1,500 followers that there are, and then out of the how many downloads do we get?
We're over 20.
Yeah, so
it's pretty cool. Checked in a while. So I've just been listening, editing the shows and listening, and I found a common trend. Every week, Jordan Kalus writes in, and every week we don't know how to say it. I wrote to him and I was like, hey, how do we say your name so I can tell Trev? And he goes, isn't it better if he butchers it every week though?
See, that's a fan. I like that guy.
See, exactly. Like now we like him even more. So thanks for that, Jordan. That was a good laugh.
Perfect. We're gonna go with Monty's 09. He messaged me first and then asked the question, and I responded to him my way via the message block. And I said, hey, throw it in there so I don't forget about it. What did he say? He said, love the show, guys. Being an apprentice, it's really interesting and informative. Keen for more episodes. He's also the one who sent in the McDonald's at 12 a.m. with the thumbs up. Pretty nice. Good. And then he said, so I also got a question for you guys for the podcast. How would you guys deal with stubborn employees, such as ones that don't listen and just don't seem to learn?
Everybody hates those employees.
Yeah,
They seem to
I
be
gave him my
everywhere.
answer, so let's get yours, and then I'll give the show my answer, which they probably already know. But
Well, it's tough if you have lots of people to choose from. I mean, like I'm assuming you're talking about a manager standpoint. You got to work with those people. If they're not working out and you give them a couple warnings, get rid of them, move on. But if you're limited for staff and it's something you got to work with, well, fuck, you got to bear down and work with those people. Like it's not the only time in your life you're going to work with difficult coworkers and have difficult staff. It's just you got to find a way to manage them in their own way because it might not be a you issue, it might be a them issue, and it might be the way that they work or the way that they learn, and coming up with a different approach for them might be the way to go. So that's what I'd say. Don't give up. It can be tough, but
what would you think I said?
fire the fucking guy.
Yep, said fire him and get a new one.
Yeah, if you have the luxury, like, I mean, you shouldn't. Like, it's an important job. You guys are doing good work at good courses and stuff. If people want to mess around and not be good employees or good teammates, get them the fuck out of there.
Fire him and get a new one.
Yeah.
So, update on TGL Golf, which is super annoying to say because that's my initials.
Oh,
So it's my golf league, everybody. It's not
it's
Tiger. It's actually me. Tiger's just the face. It is on a simulator screen, but it's on a monster simulator screen. But they are going to be
oh,
hitting apparently off of real grass and real
okay.
sand. So that's kind of cool. And then they're doing teams as well. So I've seen the Atlanta Drive Golf Club, which is Justin Thomas's. There's a Los Angeles Golf Club that Colin Markel is playing with. There's Boston Common that has an absolutely horrible logo. And then I think there's supposed to be a San Francisco team and then one other city. I can't remember.
That's really cool.
I don't understand why they need to be in cities. Because, like, what does Justin Thomas have to do with Atlanta? He went to Alabama. So,
Hmm.
I
And
mean,
maybe it's just the
he could
closest
be
team.
from there, I guess. Like, what do you mean the closest team? It's a new league. They get to make whatever they want.
Yeah, good point. So does that mean they have home venues though, or it's all going to be played out of the same?
It's another good question. I doubt that there's going to be that many venues on something that's just starting.
They're just getting going with it. See
Yeah.
how popular it gets. But you said real grass. Does that mean there's going to be some sort of an agronomy team? Somebody's going to have to be cutting that.
Okay. The video that I saw explaining it didn't get that deep in there.
Okay, there's a
So how
chance.
about just calm down?
We can't get too ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, just pump the brakes, guy.
Might be the Trevor Larson League.
It already is, but you just can't tell people that.
Okay. What about Halloween? Did you see the post of that kid wearing the barrel of product and then like all the operators around him?
It did. I really hope they cleaned that out, or it was just like an algae barrel, so there's like nothing toxic in it, and they put a different sticker on it.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully it was just. I didn't even think about that. I just figured they made it. I didn't think it was actually the product barrel, but fuck, there's a chance.
Most of those barrels don't have anything toxic in it anyway. They're usually like a light fertilizer for the most part, at least
All
here
right.
in California.
That's
So
good.
you rinse it out.
Good to go. Plus it's
It'll be
Halloween,
fun.
you're boozing, you're having a night. The one guy's like, "Oh yeah, the guy doesn't get any pulls." And the guy's like, "Yeah, buddy, you want to bet?" When did getting kills change to getting pulls? People would
Wow,
say
getting
like
kills
bodies.
is insanely aggressive.
No. Or
Maybe Ted
yes,
Bundy took that too seriously.
maybe. I don't know, it's tough. That was always the thing though. What's your kill count? People always say what's your body count, but pulls?
Yeah, see,
What he
yeah,
pulls?
the body count makes way more sense. Kill count is
It's harsh.
a smidge, dude. I mean,
I thought so until I heard a girl say it, and then I was like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah." A funny one. What about the Randy Johnson?
that was the best costume with the bird that was all
Oh my
bloody.
God, dude. I don't
That
know if
was
I've seen a better Halloween costume.
phenomenal.
The first time I scrolled over it, I didn't recognize what it was. Like I didn't get the
I
joke.
knew
And then I
instantly.
saw it
It's
later and I was like, "Oh
phenomenal.
shit, that's the bird?" Like no way. It's all over his hand and the blood and everything. Like fuck, that's good.
Absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal. So we're getting, is that Graham? Is that how you say that?
He's
It's
been
not.
engaging quite a bit lately.
So
This
it is Graham.
Graeme Roberts. Yeah, that must be English.
Super English. So wow, lots of goodies here. God, these English dudes do so many
Oh,
US
his dad was
tournaments.
a greenkeeper though, so this guy's just been fucking in it.
Still, it's you live in England, you get to do all these super cool US events, and it's like I don't really see too many guys going over to Europe to do these events, or at least having the opportunity.
Right.
Feels like their greenskeeping association is like way more about it. But I guess, the bigger events, quote unquote, there's more bigger events in the US yearly. So I guess it kind of makes a little more sense.
He said he's staying up for a cider. I love it.
A cider, wouldn't you? It's a pint. At least that's what I would say there. I'm not.
Unless
I
they
don't.
actually drink cider.
Well, yeah, everyone drinks cider. Have you
Yes.
seen the Australian commercial for Dickens cider?
Dude, I love Dickens cider. Everybody loves a good Dickens soda.
My goodness.
All right, just stopping things for a second. We all know this podcast is brought to us and you and everybody by Tru-Turf. Now, we have until November 30th, everybody. November 30th. Tru-Turf will be giving away $10,000 to one lucky winner. All you got to do is enter there. Show us your Tru-Turf competition. It's a photo competition. You send it in through their link in their bio on their Instagram page or their website, and you could win $10,000 American. Just follow the rules, send in the photo, tag them online, and you could be taking home that money. It would be amazing for the end of the year. The Kings are in Ottawa to play the Sens tonight, and they're wearing those chrome helmets. Have you
Ugh,
seen those?
no, I don't even want to see it.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, wicked, wicked bummer. The connection from across the pond is commencing.
Oh,
The signal has to travel quite the way.
there he is.
How's it going?
Not too bad, Graham. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, man. Not bad.
Thanks for
Good.
joining us. What
Top
time is
of
it
the
over
morning to you.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, give it 55 minutes. It'll almost be top of the morning.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
man.
That's not, I mean, are you working tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'll be up
Oh,
at
then it
4:30.
is super fucking late.
Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. Like I've got two kids that are 2 and 4, so I basically went to bed with them. The wife had to go into work tonight because there's a storm brewing around here. So yeah, kids went to bed at 7:30. I went to bed for 3 hours and got up, and I've just been chilling, watching Gone in 60 Seconds and having a cider. So
There you go.
There it
Nice.
is. I join you, but I have really bad heartburn right now. So,
that's fair. I hate heartburn so bad.
oh, it's the pits.
Are you into like do you guys have craft cider over there, or is there some a specific type of cider that's really popular?
I think there is some craft stuff about. So I drink. I drink. I'm not like into them like the hardcore sort of scrumpy sort of stuff. I got a major sweet tooth, which I think is why I don't drink the beer. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just can't do beer. Just
An
cannot do it.
Englishman who doesn't drink a beer. Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm an Englishman who's born in from a Scotch family.
Oh, do you drink scotch at least? Which, I mean,
Yeah, occasionally I'll drink a little bit. It helps that my uncle works. Oh, to be fair, I say worked at. He actually retired last week, so he worked at Glenlivet Distillery. He was actually the manager there.
ooh,
Wow. How
So yeah.
long if you just retired?
So he's worked at 16 different distilleries in his career.
wow.
Um,
Yeah, that's
like
not easy to
yeah,
do.
yeah, it's a good
It is
gig,
out
and
there.
he gets
Yeah.
really good discount as well. So
Oh, right. Yeah. You gotta
Hey
love the
now.
product. Yeah.
yeah, like I remember one of the gigs he did at when he was at Strathiled. He had Idris Elba come in to do like some documentary,
Wow.
and yeah, so he was doing like some sort of tour thing for some TV show. And so he had a glass of a whiskey with Idris Elba, and then like I think it's like his agent came in and was like, "Okay, cool, we'll wrap it up, we'll go now." And Idris was like, "No, I'm cool. I want to sit here
Yeah,
with Trevor and whiskey."
hey, fantastic name. What do you know?
There it is.
Yeah,
Well, it's cool to hear about your grandfather. It sounds like when we talk about your story, we should get into talking about your father because he was a course manager, right? So you've been into it since the beginning.
yeah. So like, so he was. So my grandparents on his side were both massive golfers, like ridiculously so. The golf course in my dad's hometown, my granddad actually designed the back nine for the place. I don't know the whole history of that. Basically, my dad, like with his parents being massive golfers, he got into it. So he served his internship at Royal Aberdeen, and then he got his first superintendent's job at 21, which is actually the course he's moved back to now, back up in Scotland, because he moved down here for a while. But yeah, so he basically the course he worked at, which he's at now, um, back in the day, like in the 80s and whatnot, yeah, it was to get really bad winters. So the club basically were like, "Oh yeah, it's cool. So like, there's loads of snow here. We're just gonna not employ you for winter, and we'll just re-employ you in spring." So my dad was like, "Yeah, yeah, screw that." So he found a job down in near London at North Mid Golf Club, where Andrew Beef Johnson, that's his home club, although he wasn't born there at the time. So I was born down there near London, which not a lot of people know that because all my family are Scottish. So everyone sort of assumes me as being like of Scottish background, not from London, which I kind of don't advertise. But yeah, it was cool. So like, I don't remember a whole lot about my life down there because I was only a baby at the time. But I do know that my dad telling me that the whole of Iron Maiden were all members of that club, and they used to park their Jags outside the house that my dad lived in. So
That's
apparently,
awesome.
That is so cool. Yeah. Seeing the guys out there having a dart in the middle of the night.
yeah, I've totally spaced on the drummer's name, but he bought my dad like a drink and a bottle of champagne when he found out I'd been born. So that's kind of a cool claim to fame for it.
That
So
is cool.
Now the question really is do you like and listen to Iron Maiden?
I can take it or leave it.
Fair enough. Phenomenal. Yeah, I was reading through that and I was like, oh, dude, Andrew Beef John. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. Beef's dude, like really cool. And it was like, and then you said Iron Maiden. How do you lead with with Beef and then just drop the Iron Maiden at the end? That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just I think it's because just everyone I guess it's golf. I was like, oh, Andrew Beef Johnson because obviously he's got his own podcast as well.
He's a card. I love that dude. I follow him on. I've been following him for years on Instagram.
Yeah, he's amazing, Beef. I think it's quality. Like I said, his podcast really cool. Like I've chatted to his the producers from his podcast and stuff, and yeah, they're sound as hell. Like I'd love to meet him. I think he just seems like the sort of guy he'd just be a really good fun guy to go out on the golf course with.
Oh hell yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to think. So it was my dad. Yeah, he did that, and then he moved down to the south, well, near the south coast to get an assistant superintendent's job at a course called Hankley Common, which is like a top 100 in the UK. And so again, that was another course where he had a house on site. So my mum and dad and myself, my little brother, we were brought up like at Hankley Common. The house was about 50 yards, 100 yards from the first tee, about 200 yards from the workshop for the golf course. So when kids were out playing football with the kids or riding bikes, I was just literally growing up on the golf course with my dad, and I freaking loved it. It was amazing.
You could not be any closer than that. Like that
Yeah,
is.
oh, it was ridiculous. Yeah, like I mean, I was woke like if I wasn't before I was working as a kid, I was getting out with my dad anyway because if I wasn't waking up with him, I'd be waking up because you'd hear the roller shutter doors open in the morning, sort of thing, and the machines go out. So, but I mean, yeah, it just that was life for me. I loved it. I was driving. Trying to think, I was like, I'm not sure if you guys have the Allen National over there. So like it's like it's like a little reel mower with the engine on the front. It's all belt driven. You have to like lift the reels up by hand on the sides, and there's one
Oh
behind you.
geez.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so like I was driving one of those by the time I was like 6 or 7. I was using a Jacobson Greens King 4 when I was about 8. I was driving a tractor by the time I was 11, sort of thing. So that was just how I was brought up, and I loved it. It was awesome.
That's we've talked to a few people that have grown up kind of on the golf course, but I don't know if we've ever met anybody that's like on the golf course like
Oh yeah,
that.
well that's the thing. I mean, because I've got my younger brother as well. So what is he? I'm 35. He is 33, and he was the same as that sort of thing. Like in the evenings, I'd go out with him hand watering before I started school in the morning. Like I'd often ride my bike around and pull the flags for him when he was cutting greens or spraying greens. I remember him spraying seaweed a few mornings. I go into school stinking of seaweed because obviously I'm walking behind it, and everyone at school's trying to work out why I stink of seaweed and don't live anywhere near the sea.
Because I love sushi, okay? Jeez.
There is nothing wrong with sushi. I can definitely attest to that.
Heck yeah, dude. All about it. Let's see.
Yeah. So just did that. I was brought up on that. And it was that sort of thing where, as a kid, like from 5 or 6, I always wanted to be a greenkeeper. And in fairness, like some of my family did that sort of thing. Of, oh no, you can do better things. You can,
How dare they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my mum going, oh, you can be prime minister. I was like, nah, I just want to drive tractors and work on a golf course. And you know what? Like my mum and dad were amazing. They were kind of they're the sort of family that it was 100% whatever I wanted to do, they'd support me with it. And I think
That's
for my
great.
dad, it was the fact that we were going to do that. I started my career working for him. So I basically worked every school holiday from when I was 13 till I finished college, and then went served like an apprenticeship through him. And yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. And then my brother did the exact same thing as well. So at one point, me and my brother were both working for my dad at the course, and it was I loved it. Excuse
Well,
me.
that's cool. The whole fam.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, like I feel for my mum as well because like the joke with our family is the fact that when it comes to like her birthday or Mother's Day, it's like right, we're going to go out for dinner, and we're not going to talk about turf. and that will last about 7 minutes.
If I hear one word about that golf course,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still the same now. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the fact that now we're all course managers as well, it's even worse. But I mean, it's, I love it, and she's cool with it as well. I mean, when was it? 2016. Castle Stewart hosted the Scottish Open, and like, because the nature of my mum and dad and the family, we sort of a lot of our social circles in the industry as well. So when my dad and myself went up to volunteer at the Scottish Open, Chris Haspel at the time, who's the course manager there, he knew my mum as well, so he invited her up as well. So she came up and volunteered for the week as well. And like where my dad works at Huntley Golf Club now, my young cousin Lucy, she's his apprentice as well. So like, yeah, it's a proper family thing with us.
so you just mentioned that all three of you are course managers at different courses. What's that like?
It's cool. It's funny because like I've only recently taken over the role I'm in now, but I mean, so I've been doing it. Well, I was trying to think. So we've my dad's obviously been course manager since he was 21 at various courses. My brother, Scott, he took over at the club he's at, Basingstoke, and I mean, he's gone in like balls deep in the course he's at. So he was the deputy there, and then the course he was at, developers wanted to buy the site, and so what they did was they bought the site, gave the club like a whole ton of money, and the idea was that they would then buy another golf course to then turn that into their own one. So he pretty much got promoted up to course manager there, and at the moment he's overseeing. They're completely rebuilding the course, brand new maintenance facility, brand new clubhouse, new irrigation, new car park. Literally everything's not new. Like they're just throwing a grade in there and starting again, sort of thing. So he's had to go straight in to his first course manager's job, doing all this sort of stuff, which has been pretty interesting for him. So I mean, that's been really cool. And yeah, it's that sort of thing. We're just constantly we've got like our own WhatsApp group, the three of us, and we're just constantly just chatting about what each of us are doing, and we'll always help each other out. And it's a good laugh. And we're family as well, so we're constantly giving each other shit about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So it's good fun. Like I love it. I think it's really cool and pretty special to be all doing as a family.
I think at one point we have to have the entire family on for a group episode.
The Roberts Roundtable.
Oh man.
I think it's the fact that like because like my brother doesn't do social media pretty much at all. My dad does it a little bit, but like it's funny because the amount of shit I got when I finally got I say finally, like because I said my brother's been doing it for I think he's been course manager now for about 3 years. My dad's obviously been in the industry for decades.
Oh, so there's some
Like,
joking, eh? There was some
oh
chirping
yeah,
going
no,
on.
I got some serious shit. Like there was that sort of thing when I like was able to let everyone know that I got promoted to course manager. A lot of it was really nice, and some of it was like, well, thank fuck, finally you've done it, sort of thing. Oh, cool.
Like,
Cheers for
about
that.
time, a
Oh,
loser.
jeez, we can finally buy
Yeah,
a house
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So and like
Way to hit
there's
a
already been
monster
jokes about the
milestone in a
fact.
career so late.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, like there's already been jokes about the fact it's been like the Sopranos now because there's the three of us in the industry, sort of thing.
You can just bully
Nice.
other courses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll
Oh, you
decide
want
what
this kind of
like
fertilizer? You got to go through me.
that. No, exactly that. But it's awesome. I love it. I mean, I think that's what I love about the industry anyway. I mean, we're family, but it's family anyway. Everyone gets on so
Mhm.
well. Everyone helps each other. You name another industry where your competitor could be down the road, you come up with an amazing idea to sort something out. Any other industry, you would not tell that person how to do it. Whereas here, in greenkeeping, the first thing you do is you tell that guy down the road how you did something better than anyone else could.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it's
Yeah,
know,
unbelievable.
it is one of the
Uncomparable.
best things about what we do is the community around it and just the access to everything, and it makes it way fun.
oh, totally, yeah, that's the sort of thing. I mean, yeah, I just love that side of it. I think that's why I fell in love with it. Just growing up, like when my dad would take me in the work truck with him to other golf courses to go and pick up machinery, or I'd be playing in the main facility and stuff when other supers would come in to pick stuff up. And I loved that. I loved the fact that all these guys were all friends and they absolutely love what they do. It's like I can't think of a better way to promote an industry than seeing so much passion in that for doing it. It was just like a no-brainer to join it.
Well, heck yeah, you just go to your dad's room, knock on his door. Hey, how do I do this?
I do remember. I don't know. I think I was working at the course at this point because there was a period when I'd left to go elsewhere. And my brother was there, but I'm sure there was definitely one night because I was still living at home where my brother had been out for drinks and that, and he left a note in the living room my dad basically going, "Oh, really sorry, Dad. I'm not feeling well tomorrow morning. I won't be in." And my dad's like, "Yeah, screw you. I know it's because you've been out drinking."
Yeah, you couldn't really get away with that one,
No, you do not get away with that when you live with your boss and one of your colleagues is in the room down the hallway sort of thing. So, I think there was definitely times my brother told me when I wasn't there where my dad would send some of the guys round to the house just to bundle him in bed to get him out in the morning, sort of thing.
Oh
Oh
man,
my
that's too
gosh.
good.
That is funny.
That
But
would
no,
be
it
the
was
worst
cool.
though when you want to fake sick and you're just like, oh man, I really got to sell it because he can come in and feel
You
my
really, yeah, you
forehead.
got to go Oscar
Yeah.
winner sort of thing.
So you're at Hayling. Tell us about that. Hey, it's Hayling Golf Club.
Yeah, so Hayling Golf Club it's a private members club. It's based on like a small island, Hayling Island, just east of Portsmouth in Hampshire. So we're on the very south coast. It's a links course, which is really cool. It's that sort of thing. I'd
Yes.
always fancied working on a links course, but there's not that many of them on the south coast.
Wow,
Um,
really?
yeah, like there's like loads of courses on the south coast, but there's like if you compare it to say, the northeast, northwest, Scotland, where you've got like Hoylake, Birkdale, all the open rotor courses all in Scotland. There's not that many along the south in comparison. And so, like I said, I always wanted to work links, but everywhere I'd worked previously were all heathland courses, like Sunningdale and Walton Heath and that sort of thing. Um, and so basically, yeah, it's an interesting course because like there's a couple of golf courses on the island. Hayling Golf Club is the main one. Links course, absolutely stunning, but like in some aspects, like a lot of links courses, it's obviously built on sand. But also, I'd say over half the course is also built on shingle. So, like, if you imagine, like, for lack of a better sort of comparison, like pea shingle, we're just built on that. Like, you go 2, 3 inches down below the soil, that's what we're sitting on, sort of thing. So, it is awesome in the winter. Like, we had 4 inches of rain last week. We had, I think, about another 3/4 of an inch today. We've had a ridiculous amount of rain these last few weeks. I think we're one of the only courses in the county that's still open. So it's amazing for that. Like we'll puddle up, and as soon as that rain stops and the ground gets a chance to catch up with it, it'll drain down and we'll be great again. But the flip side of that is summer is absolute hell for trying to keep grass alive on
Oh
parts of the
yeah.
course just because it dries out so quickly. And we haven't got like huge amounts of water. We're in the process of we're going to get some test holes to try and extract water from the ground, but we have a lake that we take water from. But like last year, we ran out of lake water mid-July, and then we were down to running mains, which because we're on an island was such low flow that it was basically like life support. It was a case of we could afford to water greens and greens approaches and tees at an absolute push, but everything else it was a case of if we had a window in the irrigation cycle, we could give it a token bit of water, but not a lot of it, sort of thing. So it's cool in the winter, like because we can have golf all the time, and like it's got its own challenges. Like I think it's amazing. I'm loving learning about it. It's been a really steep learning curve coming in. Um, my old boss Greg at Hayling is he's now at Royal St George's. He went down there as course manager, and like he's awesome. Like I've known him for a while anyway through a whole bunch of friends in our WhatsApp group. But like he's one of those guys that I went to work for him, and like you've got when you know guys, there's that sort of thing where someone's an expert in a couple of aspects of the job and that. And I sort of came in thinking, cool, I know he's like a freaking Jedi at irrigation, and he really knows about sort of fine fescue and that from his links background. I'll come in and I'll try and find a way to sort of learn something, and I can bring a new thing to the team. It was like no, he knows everything and he's like ridiculously knowledgeable in every aspect. It's like you'd go in and be like, oh yeah, I learned this new thing. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I know about that. And it's like, oh shit. Okay, fair enough. Like not in like a dick way, but like
Oh
he's just
no,
one of
it's
those
just
people that,
smart. Yeah.
yeah, he's just an incredibly smart person. So amazing guy to learn from. And he gets you stuck in with it. It was great because I hadn't been links on links courses before that, so that was quite new. But yeah, I loved it working for him. And then obviously Royal St George's came up. He went for that job and got it. And then I still remember it, like he sort of went through that. And I remember him just sending me a text saying, "Oh yeah, I've just accepted the job at Royal St George's. Better get your shit together for getting my job," sort of thing. So it's like, okay, got to start prepping for that sort
Here
of
we
thing.
go.
Yeah, and he was awesome for that. He was really good at like pretty much handing the reins over to me while he was still working notice to sort of help me with it. And I started to go through the whole process of applying for the job and interviewing for it. So when I actually got offered it, like I still remember it was like it was my dad's birthday, August 1st, about 6:45 in the morning. I got a text from our Greens chairman. It was like, "Oh, is there any chance I can call you?" And I was like, "This is really weird. Why are you up at 6:45?" I was cutting the range at the time, and it was just absolutely lashing down with rain. So I ran to like the starter's hut um, to get shelter while I took the phone call. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we had the committee meeting, and the committee unanimously voted that we'd like to offer you the job." And it just blew my mind. It was that sort of thing. Like I've waited so long to take that next step up to doing it. I just remember like getting off the phone, walking back out to the range of the sidewalk and just screaming, "Fuck yeah!"
Nice.
Like
Attaboy.
that sort of thing. I was like, yeah, if there's anyone walking dogs nearby, they're gonna wonder what the hell this guy in the middle of the golf course in the hammering rain is screaming "fuck yeah" for.
It's
Oh,
finally
you deserved it.
Like, my dad and brother can get off my back.
I needed a shower and this is free.
But it's an amazing golf course. It's just really cool. We have, I mean, it's got some absolutely stunning holes. I mean, we manage fescue on it. We're trying to promote fescue as much as possible. We have Tom McKenzie in as our architect. So he's part of McKenzie and Ebert, the architects that do the open rotor courses. So we're doing like loads of improvements with a 10-year master plan on that, and yeah, it's awesome. I just love it. We're constantly doing stuff. The club really want to improve on things, and they're super like supportive on all that. Like I said, we're currently looking at trying to get more water for irrigation, so we can do that. I started doing, well, we started a couple of years ago when Greg was there. We've been doing designs for a new maintenance facility, so there's loads going on. It's really cool, and they really want to help promote our department in the club as well, which is really good. So all that sort of stuff's really cool.
Well, then the golden question that we get asked all the time here is, and I'm sure Adam can feel it coming.
Ready. I am fucking ready.
Is it red or is it green?
So I reckon when I was younger, it would have been green because I was a kid, loved John Deere. I would say red. I think if I'm going to go mowing equipment, it's got to go red. If I'm going to go utility vehicles and tractors, it's going to be green every day.
Okay. Which we've
So,
heard does
yeah,
kind of
that's the
sound.
thing. I think, yeah, I don't think, I mean, so over here in the UK, if you went like a lot of clubs, if you went package deal Toro, I'm not sure you guys have the TYMs over there or Tim's over there. Like I can't remember where that's from actually. I think, yeah, they're kind of like there's like sort of you buy the Toro package fleet deal and you get the TYMs with it. These tractors and they're fine, but they're
I
like
wish.
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
yeah, not all free, but there's that sort of thing. If you went all Toro because Toro don't make tractors, that was the
Oh,
tractor you
okay.
got with it, and they were very much like no frills sort of thing. But yeah, they're good, so we've got that. But yeah, I think if I was going to choose it, like I know my brother's in the process of getting a new fleet at his course, and he's done just that. He's gone red for mowing equipment and green for utilities and tractors, sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
green
think,
tractors are pretty good. I'll definitely
yeah,
give John Deere on the tractor.
yeah, I think you're hard to beat them sort of thing. Like, have you seen the feature the 4066Rs have where you can nudge them backwards? You seen
Go
that?
on.
Man, I don't have
So
any
basically,
money to even look at stuff. So
yeah,
I don't. I just
this is money
don't.
feature. Yeah, I remember when I was working at Spinney Forest, we had it. And I was hitching up one of the aerators. I was like a bunch of buttons on the back mud flap. I was like, okay, that's cool. So in my sort of nerdy way, straight away on Google, and what it is you can do with those John Deeres now is you can flick a couple of switches in the cab, go to the back of the tractor, and you can just basically push the buttons to the mud guard, and it'll nudge the tractor backwards or forwards to line yourself up with the pins.
Oh,
That's
to get the
awesome.
pin in. Wow.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
so
say
you have
you
a
Googled the buttons. I would have just pressed them.
Yeah. What does this do?
What does this do?
I just went straight with the pressing it, but there's like a sequence of other buttons you've got to press in the cab.
Ah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did try that first. Like, I'm just going to randomly push buttons and see what happens. But yeah, total game changer from either having one guy in the cab, one guy in the back, or doing that thing where you're going in and out of the cab to move
Yeah.
it like a quarter inch to get it lined up. So yeah, that is a wicked feature. So definitely
Nice.
recommend if you get a chance to try that out.
It'll be the day when I die.
One day.
I gotta ask, and we can keep this off the podcast if it's a little bit over the line, but is the Hayling Golf Club, could that be a future home of the Open Championship potentially?
No, unfortunately not. No, I think we haven't got the yardage there.
Okay.
I think it's that sort of thing where obviously they've got the open rotor sort of thing, and I'll be honest, like this is where I could sort of fail a lot in greenkeeping, but I'm not as well versed in all of the history regarding anything else. But I think very much as far as I know, they've got their courses of the current open road and they stick that way. I think it's kind of like the Ryder Cup nowadays, though. I think so much. It's not. I'm not saying so little of it's about the golf courses because it is. It's a huge part of it's the golf course, but it's all that infrastructure with it, sort of thing. There are some amazing golf courses in the UK. Links courses because that's what the Open Championship tends to be hosted on. But it's everything with it. It's that ability to get the tens of thousands of fans on the course. It's all the accommodation nearby. It's the support network around it, sort of thing. I mean, Hayling's a good course. I mean, we'd like to break into the top 100 in the UK. We're not far off it. We're working on that. The club really want to do that. But no, I think I could never see that happening. And unfortunately, I'd love to. It'd be awesome to say it would, but the course just isn't quite the scale of the whole thing isn't anywhere near where it needs to be compared to that. I mean, even if you look at some of the sort of courses that were open rotor venues, like in the early 1900s and that, they're again amazing golf courses, but it's that sort of thing where time's moved on. I think there'd be so much work that would need to go into actually bring them to that level, and even then, it's still up to the R&A if they'd want to do that sort of thing, and that's a whole different ball game I don't know anything about.
That is crazy. Well, it's cool to know, but
Yeah, if they're not going to have tournaments there, it looks like you've done plenty of other ones.
The Turf Today podcast is also brought to you by Aquatrolls. And now more than ever, making the best use of water and other resources is essential, and Aquatrolls is leading the way. Their team of scientists and technical professionals are continually seeking effective solutions to address the unique challenges facing the turf industry and individual turf managers. And don't forget, sign up for Aquatrolls Approach and earn points on your purchases all year long. All purchases before April 30th earn double points. Check this all out today at aquatrolls.com.
Yeah, I think I remember a buddy of mine, Jared O'Barr. He was at the time he was assistant superintendent at Monterey Peninsula. We interned together at Pinehurst, and he just referred to it as a tournament hall, which was like, yeah, I'll take that. That's probably pretty much what it is.
Tournament
just
hall,
on
that's
tour.
Fantastic.
That's so good. So how many are you up to now? Is there a bit of a laundry list?
So the list is, I think if I was to go by just different events, I think it's around about 20, but I've done about, so there's
Wow.
there's about 3 or 4 where I've returned to them again and done like 2, 3, 4, 5 years going and helping out them. But it was entirely just getting bitten by the bug. I went to college and got my qualifications. I got really pushed by my lecturer to go and experience stuff elsewhere because obviously I started working with my dad. And that was the thing, I was in no way kind of like, I'm gonna stay with dad or whatever. I kind of had that thing because his boss was from a family of course managers. Like, so his old boss has passed away now, but they were from a family where his dad was a course manager, and him and his, oh, I'll try and count them now. I think it's like 5 brothers were all course managers. And so like it was that sort of thing, like with my dad and me and my brother, it was like I want to make sure that I don't want to be known as like Gareth Roberts' son. That's no dig to my dad because I love him so much and I'm so proud of everything he's done. But I want to sort of, carve my own career path. And so I went out and did an internship through Ohio State University, did 6 months at Pinehurst and then 6 months at Harbortown. So at Pinehurst, we did the US Amateur that year. That's when
2008.
2008. But I forget who won it that year. My buddy who's from New Zealand will kill me because it was a Kiwi that won it. So we did that, and then did the Heritage at Harbortown, and I just fell in love with it. And I forget the link, but my super at Harbortown, I think it was like a family member or something, had a link to Quail Hollow. So he basically said to a whole bunch of us, look, if you guys want to go and help out at Quail Hollow, go and do that. And Quail Hollow was the first time that it was kind of like when you used to see all those clips on TV of like the Flying V and the photos in magazines of like hundreds of greenkeepers out working. That's what it was. I remember going there and it being like 4:30 in the morning. You went into the marquee and there's this whiteboard that's like 8 foot by 8 foot with just hundreds of names on it for all the jobs. And like I remember going in, I'm like, and just me and 2 other friends, and I was thinking, right, I don't know the course, I don't know anyone here. I'm gonna be raking bunkers. That's what I'll be doing, and that's cool. That's gonna be the experience. And then we're sort of looking at this board, and while I'm going, oh cool, I'm cutting greens. And he's like, I haven't walk mowed greens in like 5 years. I'm now walk mowing greens at a golf course I don't know with a walk mower I've never used. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, oh, I'm cutting fairways. I'm like, cool. I'm part of, I think, like 16 guys cutting fairways in a Flying V in the dark with a mower I'd never used before. And it was like, but again, it was just adrenaline went with it, and it was amazing. And you go and do that tournament, you meet guys from other events, other host courses that are looking for people. And so, from Quail Hollow, I met a guy from Riviera. So I went to Riviera and helped out there at the Northern Trust Open. I met a guy from Valhalla. I was meant to go there for PGA Champs in whenever that was 2013, 14? I can't remember. That just didn't work out. But like, it was that sort of thing. You go to one place, you meet guys that have either been to other events or they're from host courses, and just you make that network. And it was just that whole buzz. You're going somewhere where there's 100 other greenkeepers that are, they've gone there because they want to be there. Because the club, that club is not paying you to be there. So if you're going to be there, it's because you love doing it. And it's just the adrenaline is just awesome to see this perfect golf course, loads of machinery, loads of really cool people, some free stuff as well, which is always pretty nice, and just the experience. It's just I love it. It was just a huge buzz. Like as a kid, watching golf with my dad, you'd every now and again see those clips at the Masters, the Greenkeepers, or at the Open, thinking I would love to do that sort of thing. That would be amazing. And then to go from that to holy crap, I can actually do that, to then being like, wow, I've actually gone and worked majors now as part of these teams and stuff. Like, I never even thought I'd set foot on these golf courses, let alone be able to say I've been part of these events and get to be a part of helping out the teams and course managers there, sort of thing. It's just such an awesome experience.
Yeah, the list is mighty impressive. Adam, have you looked at it?
I have. It was a bit of a scroll, if I recall.
Yeah.
So, U.S. Amateur 2008 Pinehurst, Verizon Heritage 2009 Town Golf Links, Dunhill Cup 2009 in Kingsbarns.
Yeah, Kingsbarns, that's the one. It's a bit like the AT&T Pale Beach Pro-Am. So you have
Nice.
Kingsbarns, Carnoustie, and St Andrews.
Sweet. Yeah, Northern Trust Open at Riviera in 2011, Senior British Open 2012 at Walton Heath, a Pebble Beach Pro-Am 2012 Monterey Peninsula CC. Yeah, Wells Fargo Championship from 09 to 12 at Quail Hollow, doing all kinds of stuff. Chambers Bay, or missed one, 2014 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, 2015 U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. Chambers Bay is amazing, super dope course. I love it. PGA Championship 2015 at Whistling Straits. Scottish Open 2016, 13, and 12. So we got to backtrack a little there at Castle Stewart.
Stewart.
Stewart? Oh my God.
Stewart, yeah.
Yeah, I'm retarded. It's cool. Ryder Cup 2016 at Hazeltine, 2019 the Open at Port Rush, and let's see what we got. 2023 Royal Liverpool the Open, which is the last one, and then this was the best part of it. Yes, and in quotation, not quotations, in another parenthesis. I don't know, whatever. I apologize for the douchey long list.
Yeah,
some real good tournaments though, eh? Like really good tournaments there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I was awesome. I was really fortunate. I worked at clubs, and I still work at a club now where they really support that. So they give us the time off to do it, sort of thing. They see that as development. I mean, it was like a prime example with the Open this year. So, like, I'm really good friends with James Bledge, the course manager at Hoylake. I've known him for about 10 years. And so a whole bunch of us went up to help him. And it was that sort of thing where I mentioned it to the club because it fell in a really awkward time for me because the Open pretty much fell roundabouts when I was going to be doing the interview and stuff for my course manager's role at Hayling. I sort of said to the club, I was like, look, Greg hadn't left at that point. I was like, look, I'm not sure if I should go and do this because, I should be doing everything I can to cement that position. But, at the same time, it's the Open. It's like one of my oldest friends in greenkeeping. I want to go up and help him out. And they were like, no, it was a no-brainer. At no point were we going to turn around to you and say you can't do it because this is promotion for our club. You're going up to help out at one of the best courses in the world, at one of the biggest events in the world. It's like the guy, half of the interview panel for the job we're going to be up there at the Open anyway. So go up there, enjoy it. It's a great thing for your development sort of thing. So yeah, I've been really fortunate to work at golf clubs that see the benefit in letting guys go and do that. And that's one thing I want to do the same for the guys that work with me in the future. Anything I can do to help them. And I think tournaments is a great fun way of doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some of the best networking you can do and you get some amazing experience. It's a grind.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like it's been so much fun doing it. I met some absolutely amazing people. Like I remember at Quail Hollow, like I didn't even know I'd done it, but I'd been chatting to Lucas Glover for about half an hour while he was fishing on the 17th at Hayling, not Hayling,
way
at Quail Hollow. because I was what was I doing? I was mowing greens, and like I got finished. I was waiting for something, whatever it was. And I had my camera with me because I do photography. And there's a guy fishing, so I was just chatting to this guy fishing and stuff, and got a photo of him. And there was like 2 days later, I was showing some photos to the guys in the tent at the maintenance facility, and they're like, "Oh crap, that's Lucas Glover," and I was like, "Huh, never even really realized that." I was just chatting to this random guy in a t-shirt and shorts, just with a fishing rod at 17 for like and half an hour sort of thing, you know. But
That's
it's just
awesome.
cool. I love meeting all these different people, sort of thing. It's good fun.
Yeah. Well, I know we would be remiss without asking you. We got to go back to the Open there quickly. Is there any little stories or any little tidbits, anything really fun and unique that you noticed there that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. So like the thing is, like of all the tournaments I've done, like it's stuff I never dreamt I'd get to do, and to get to be part of the actual. Because the thing is, like I know, so with the Open, you can be part of two greenkeeping teams. You can be part of Bigger's one where you do the match raking. You get assigned a group and you rake with them, which is what I did with at Port Rush. So like I think on the final day at Port Rush, I was raking bunkers for DJ, and that was awesome. Whereas obviously at Hoylake, you're part of the greenkeeping team. It was such good fun. Like what Bledge actually did is because there was, I think, was it 40 of us in total, including his, or 46, including his team. He basically got these things called bunker bins put in the maintenance facility. And these are like small little, like, I don't know what you call them, like if a trailer was like shrunk in the wash sort of thing. I mean, it was just big enough for two single beds in the bathroom, and he had them all sort of, they're all properly plumbed and showers and everything in the maintenance facility for all of the volunteers that came in. And we were all paired up with that, and like it was just, so it was great because I mean that when we had team briefing at what was it 3:50 every morning, the team briefing was we could just roll out of bed out of these bunker bins, walk 20 feet, and we were in the tent for morning briefing for a coffee and whatever. But I mean, it was just it was there was nothing really that secretive there. I mean, I'd like to think that they're pretty transparent with what they do with the Open. I think mainly because the fact there's nothing really done that needs to be hidden. I know that like some clubs can do that or whatever, but there was nothing too extraordinary with it. I mean, it was things like trying to think. So we didn't do any rolling. With the RNA, they tried to avoid using rollers for the Open because
Interesting.
they found with their studies that for getting pace and maintaining that pace through the whole day, they'd rather get that through just a double cut or a triple cut sort of thing because they find that if you use a roller, that speed can drop off a little bit quicker than if you're just to sort of cut a couple of extra times.
Hmm.
So there's none of that sort of thing, but it was like
Science.
things like
That's
yeah,
a
it was
secret right there. See, you just
Yeah.
give away
yeah, okay,
secret
that's
and
the thing.
didn't
Sometimes.
even know.
But that's the thing though, like they were totally transparent with it. So
Oh yeah.
I was mowing greens for the Open. It was awesome. I had this young lad who was an apprentice with me, and he was cool. He was so passionate. I feel sorry for the guy because I just didn't shut up for the whole week. I was just constantly sharing tidbits and things to do, like oh yeah, you should do this next, and do this, and just like any questions he had, I couldn't help but want to help him with it. So what we'd do is obviously we'd get to a green, we'd wait till the RNA would come through. They would stimp the green before we cut it, get a reading on it, and like I don't think none of the greens that we were assigned to we didn't cut, but the idea was that they wanted to see what they were like before the cut so they could then stimp them again and get them all consistent. Same thing we did at other championships. But so yeah, two of the guys from the RNA would come and stimp, they would leapfrog around the course, two RNA scholars, one with a cleg to check firmness, one to do moisture. And as it was, I got chatting to the guys who were stimping and sort of said the same to Sam, who's the apprentice, look, these are really cool guys to get to know. I mean, they're not. There's no egos in the industry. I mean, yeah, there's a few people that are, but screw them. Everyone wants to help each other. I said, look, these guys are top of their game, what they do, and they will help you, sort of thing. And so, like for example, you may have seen photos of the Open when they stimp. They've got these like perspex sort of shit, like box things that go over the green. And it was really funny because when they first came out with those, I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, they're hiding the golf ball so people can't see how fast the greens are
Fuck
stimping."
off.
And it's like, well, it's not true because one, the transparent perspex, so you can see it. But what it actually is the fact that because it's so windy on the sites, if you had the wind like playing against that when you're doing stimping, you're going to get readings all over the place. The idea is that it creates like a sort of a control environment for stimping. I mean, the first day we worked the Open, it was that windy. I think I might have a photo on Instagram where I think there was like five of us all like pinning down these perspex sheet things because it was so windy. They literally were going to blow into the sea if we weren't holding them down, sort of
Wow.
thing. but we'd chat to these guys and stuff, and we're sort of asking, oh, we'd help them stimp as well because they were only going out on their own. Yeah, and they had no issue with sharing the information about like what they were hoping to gain from it, what they're expecting, what the readings were, and like you could sort of we were picking their brains with sorts of things they were doing, so we could then take that back to our own courses. And that was super cool. And I mean, I think the biggest thing was that was really cool, the RNA stuff. Getting to know those guys really well. I remember like on our last green, it was Richard Windows, one of the RNA agronomists, sort of comes over and really awesome guy, like one of the most energetic and happy people in the world. 4 a.m. It's ridiculous. So we get done with our last green. He comes over and shakes me and Sam's hands, and he's like, "Oh, I've got something for you guys," and walks back to his car. And I remember Sam looking at me and goes, "I don't like the sound of that." And I'm like, "What do you think he's gonna do?" As it was, he basically went back and got a couple of the RNA, like what were they? I think that's Callaway or Strixon's, unfortunately.
Hopefully Strixon's.
Yeah, it was basically he gave us one of the RNA stimp balls they use as like a little sort of parting gift sort of thing, which is quite cool. But like, and the thing is, like, I can't say enough as well. That was awesome. But I mean, and I'm not just saying it because he's a good friend of mine, but James Bledge, the course manager there, him and his team put on an incredible week there because we all felt like we were family there for that week. We were all part of it. It was great fun. Everyone was there getting dialed in. So no, he actually created a WhatsApp group for the greenkeeping team for that week. So
Nice.
if anyone wasn't sure of something, or if anyone was say they didn't know where to go with something, or if they spotted something, sort of thing, like a couple of the guys in the fairway mowers, they basically 1 or 2 days in sort of said, look, get tennis balls, put the tennis balls on the fairway mowers so that, like, I know we did it at Quail Hollow. I think Castle Stewart did it. I know Augusta do it, where you have the tennis ball in the mower so that if you see something going on behind the mower in front of you, you throw that tennis ball, guy in front of you sees the tennis ball, they stop, whole thing shuts down so that there's no hydraulic spill or damage or anything done. And so it was, I think everyone was bringing stuff in to help to it, sort of thing. And I mean, again, Bledge is amazing because he's just such a passionate guy. He loves what he does, and so he brought in people with that same sort of thing, and like the atmosphere was just tremendous. Um, like in the evening, so we were starting at 4 a.m. We'd be done pretty early morning with the morning setup. Then it was a case of watch golf for the day or sleep or whatever. We went and visited a couple of other golf courses during the day. Then evening shift, normally done between 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then like we just chill in the tent there because obviously a lot of us were sleeping on site, sort of thing. And like the very last night, I think one night I know I ordered something like £200 worth of pizzas from Domino's. I didn't pay for that myself, by the way. I'm not that kind of minted. But like we all
Slinging around
jumped in
pounds.
the course truck and went and got pizzas, and we all just sat, had a drink, and watched TV, and did that in the tent. Then on the last night, we were gonna have like the idea was to have like a really big. We're all gonna go out and have drinks and celebrate the Open being over, but the weather was just horrendous that last day. So we ended up just staying in the facility and just drinking and having pizza there. And you know what? It was an awesome amount of fun doing that because it was just a chance to let loose and have a good laugh. And like, if you want to get a good insight to what the Open that week was like, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Cookie Jar Golf.
I have not.
So they're a podcast as well, golf based, and what they did because I know Bledge and a couple of the guys in the area know them really well. They basically did like almost like a Netflix style documentary of us for the week.
No
Interesting.
way.
That'd be cool.
It's like a half-hour film, and it's quite cool because it follows Bledge like about I think like a month or two before with the build up to the Open, then the week of the Open, and it's like they've done the way they've done it with the filming is just amazing. It is the sort of thing you could honestly see on Netflix. Tom from Cookie Jar Golf was the one that filmed it, and he did a phenomenal job with it. I definitely recommend watching it because it's just a really cool insight to being a part of the Open, and it's more than just cutting grass. It was the way he put it together. It was a story. It was the fact that it was about the people doing the job, not just about the science of it or the Open itself. It was just a wicked fun week, and I don't think I'll ever forget that in a long time.
So it was basically like you were on the set of a film.
A little bit,
pretty
yeah,
much.
because that was the thing. Because so Bledge's old deputy, who's now the course manager at Royal Cinque Ports, which is the one like the other side of the fence from Royal St George's, he was painting cups, the holes for the Open, and so he had Tom from Cookie Jar Golf go with him, and we met up with him on the first green. He got his drone out and he was like filming shots of the guys cutting fairways. And then I think Ben had obviously got talking to Tom, sorry, and obviously mentioned my douchey list of volunteering. And so Tom was like, "You're the guy I need to talk to about a few things." And I was like, "Ah, crap, okay," because I'm normally the guy behind the camera. I like to take photos. I don't like to be in front of it. But you know what? It was because obviously he went around, he was filming the guys working, he interviewed a few guys, but when he puts it together, it literally, honestly, it's the same sort of level of quality you'd see on Netflix. He's done such a beautiful job putting this thing together. Like I think that half-hour video alone would be such a great way to show the passion and the people and the love in our industry for what we do. Not just the fact that it's just the Open, which obviously is a huge part of it.
That's sick. Trev, you want to try that segue again?
I'm glad you caught it. Your lunch times. Where'd you spend some of these lunch times?
Yeah, so yeah, because I forgot I mentioned about that. Yeah, so basically, yeah, so when I worked at Hayling Common with my dad, the golf course itself sits on 872 acres, I think it is, of heathland. A huge part of that's rented out by the military, of which that then gets used by film companies. And so, two James Bond films have been filmed on the heathland bit just out the back of the golf course. The World's Not Enough, if you've seen that one.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Where
good
the
one.
car, yeah, it's the one where the car gets cut in half with the helicopter. That was filmed there. I didn't see that because I was too young at the time. That was middle of the night. But they
How in
filmed
the fuck am I
Skyfall
supposed to hit a golf shot with all this racket going on?
there.
Dang it,
Thankfully, it's
James.
like the other side of the hill, so you don't really see it. But I just remember my dad saying it. And what it was, we had vandalism one day. And like a couple of days later, my dad was out on the course. I was working as well, but I remember him coming in and saying, "I was really weird. I was out on the course, and this Toyota Land Cruiser comes like driving through a part of the Heathland area that's not the golf course." And so my dad goes over and sees him because there shouldn't be vehicles out there unless they're like military doing their training or whatever. And the guy was really nice and he's chatting away. And my dad said, "Look, we've had some vandalism. Can you, if you happen to see any like douchebags on motorbikes, can you give me a call? Whatever sort of thing. And that'd be a really big help." And the guy's like, "Yeah, no problem. Here's my card." I remember my dad saying, he's like, "This guy gave me the card." And I was like, "Who the hell does he think he is?" And it was like a matte black business card with like gold inlay of the 007 logo. And my dad's like, "Who the hell's got 007 on their freaking business card?" And
James
he was
frickin' Bond.
yeah, it was not quite that, but it was the location manager for the film. So my
Nice.
dad was like, "Okay," so he's like, "So what is it you're doing?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be filming Skyfall out here." So and my dad was like, "Oh wow, it's amazing." He's like, "Look, we're going to start putting the set together whenever. You should come down sometime. You can meet up, sort of thing." And so when it all started being built, and if you've seen Skyfall, it's basically the end of the film when they go to the massive mansion in Scotland that's like his home with the church and the graveyard and everything else. So we went down and met this guy and he showed us around. But when it came to like break times now, there was a couple of times that we would sort of drive up to the top of the ridge, which is just off the golf course. And basically you could look down on the entire set. So you've got the mansion, the church, the graveyard, all the film stuff. There's an Aston Martin sitting there that we're going to blow up. And it's sort of, I remember clocking and being like, the cruise trucks are the exact same as ours. They're using the diesel John Deere Gators. We could probably take a run down there and have a look down there. So we basically drove down the sort of ramp down into the bottom of the DZ, which is the dropping zone where the military trained. And before you know it, we're just driving straight through the film set of Skyfall. And we're like, well, we're wearing all these dark clothes that say Hankley Common on them. We've got radios on our belts. We're driving the exact same vehicles they're using to drive around the set. They're not going to think anything different of that sort of thing.
We're just doing our thing.
There's like a few times we just drove through and just had like a little nosy through the set and see what was going on. And it was awesome. And then I remember the guy getting in contact with my dad and saying, "Look, I'm not allowed to say that something's going to happen on the set, but if you happen to be walking your dog at like 2:30 on the morning of this day, you're probably going to see something pretty sweet out on the common." So we're like, "Okay, cool. We're going to walk our dog at 2:30 in the morning and see what happens." And we get out there, and they've got that ridiculous military gunship, which apparently the military gave it to the film company for this because it was like, "We've got this brand new military helicopter. If we give it to the film company that made James Bond, that's a really cool way to advertise our brand new military helicopter sort of thing." So we got to see this thing flying around and essentially blow up an Aston Martin outside the mansion sort of thing. And it was, yeah, it's pretty cool. But that sort of thing, it was like we were not allowed to mention a thing about it until the film came out because I remember someone being out there and taking some photos and posting it, and like within hours, the film company like found them and got involved with it, sort of thing. Because obviously it's all hush hush about, what's being filmed and where it's being filmed and all that sort of thing. But that was super cool.
Wow. What a unique
Yeah.
experience.
That's
Yeah,
so gnarly.
It's a little bit different from just sitting in the shop, sort of like playing cards or something. That's for sure.
Yeah, you guys want to play cards? You want to see a helicopter blow up a car?
Yeah.
Go fish.
Yeah.
Well, Graham, man, this has been really good. Like we've flown through a bunch of this stuff. We can't let you go without hearing about the excavator, though, because that
Yeah.
sounds like a classic.
Oh yeah, that was like I said, that is the day that my career dignity died a terrible death. I was basically working for my buddy Lee Powell, course manager at Windlesham. I was his deputy, and I was doing some ditch work. So I got a couple of 3-ton excavators, and it's like the heaviest clay site I've ever worked on, mainly because I've not worked on many clay sites. But and I was doing some ditch clearances, area by 13, and they're already backed up because there's not been a lot of work done in these ditches. And I thought, oh no, I'll use some of the soil, I'll build a bridge over this ditch, take the excavator over the ditch, and I'll clear out this main bit that lets the water off the site. So build the little bridge, track the excavator over, dig this bit, go the track back over, and the excavator starts to sink. And I'm like, oh shit. So being a guy, I'm like, no, I'm cool. I don't need help. I can do this. I can dig myself out of this. And it just gets worse and it gets worse. And I sink deeper and deeper. And I start digging a bigger hole, trying to get myself out of it. And I distinctly remember actually seeing my boss, Lee, about 200 yards away on his phone. And basically, he saw what was going on and was like, yeah, fuck that. And just carried on walking. He's like, I'm not getting involved. So we had to call one of the other guys who was in like the really old excavator. So he tracked his one over, the same size, like a little 3-tonner. He tried to help me out. No, it didn't work. Just made more mess, more of a hole. At this point, the mud and water had literally got into the cab. I was like up to my ankles in it. And then we had to go. So on the other side of the fence on the course's practice ground, there's like a demolition company, and they've got like a yard excavator, which is like a 13-ton excavator. So Lee went and got that, and then he had to track that over to pull me out. At which point, I think I was up to like my knees in mud in the cab. I can send you guys a photo of it. It's absolutely horrendous.
Man,
there's this bit where it's like I'm in the cab and like I'm like looking at head height to like fairway level sort of thing. He's pulling me out, and like the way he's pulling me, the excavator is like tipping forward. Like, so I'm pretty much going to end up like face first in the mud. So I start screaming at one of the guys, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like to get him to stop pulling. John thinks I'm screaming, "Go, go, go!"
go! Oh no!
So he signals me to pull even fucking harder. So like I'm almost getting like tipped on the front, like face first into the mud sort of thing. Of course, they all see my face when I see that he's decided to pull even harder. They've ended up rolling on the floor, absolutely pissing themselves at the fact that I look like I'm going to die by the look on my face, sort of thing. And we eventually get this thing out, and it's absolute carnage. Like I track this thing back to the shop, and there's like 2 foot of mud in the cab. I spent about 2 hours jet washing the whole thing just to get it all out of the cab and tracks and everything. And it was just that sort of thing. It's like the day started off really well. I was going to like finish up this ditch clearance, and it'll be really good. And yeah,
and then it sank.
It sank. It was absolute carnage. And of course, by this point, the entire team were down to help.
Laughing
They
point.
They were just there to take photos and video me, and then remind me of it for like the next 6 months afterwards.
Yeah, obviously.
But it was cool though. Shit happens. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I learned from my mistakes from that, and I just got to chalk it up to the fact that I don't want to work on a clay golf course anymore.
Fair enough.
Oh man, it almost brought me to tears.
But yeah, so that's one of the lowlights of my career. But at the same time, I still try and laugh about it. Although when my old boss from Hayling, Greg, saw the photos of it after he employed me, he's like, "Why the fuck did you not show me that photo before I gave you the job?" I was like,
Yeah.
"I would not have got the job if you saw that photo."
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly something I want to put on my resume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but we got it out.
exactly. Yeah,
it's all good.
It was fine at the end.
Nice.
Oh man, that is wild.
Well, Graham, this has been fantastic. I think everybody's going to get a really good kick out of this. A lot of
Yeah,
good
no
stuff.
worries.
And we appreciate you staying up late for us. Hopefully, able to get back to bed.
It's been good to chat to you guys. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's been awesome.
Now we've got what is this now? 3 places in England when we get over there we got to go to.
I think so.
Because you got Richard Johnston, I know him. Yeah, because Greg Evans and Paul lost on it as well, sort of thing. Yeah, so
And we got Paul as well. Yeah, we're gonna be busy when we go over there.
oh yeah, you guys are always welcome over here. Yeah, so if you guys make it over here, you let us know. We'll sort it out for sure.
Oh
That'll be a
man,
lot of fun.
it is
Yeah,
on.
yeah, definitely. No, really good.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on. It's been really good fun. Really enjoyed chatting to you guys. I've been listening to podcasts for a while now, and yeah, it's a good listen at work all the time. So yeah, it's really cool.
We
Heck yeah.
appreciate it. We're going to keep her
Well,
going.
now you get to listen to yourself next time.
Oh hell no! I'm listening to this episode.
You're going to let this one go?
No, it's cool. But no, cheers for having me on, guys. It's been great, great fun.
All right,
Awesome.
brother. Go get like 20 minutes of sleep before you got to go back to the course.
Yeah, cheers,
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate it.
And now a quick word from HydroWick. HydroWick is the solution to eliminate perched and pooled water on top of playing surfaces. Use HydroWick to avoid massive trenching scars and long healing recovery time. Within hours after heavy rain, your turf will be back to playable condition for both walking and driving. Maximize your playing season with minimal cost and ensure your turf is playable for longer periods of time with HydroWick's ultra-absorbing capabilities. Don't let rain stop you from playing. Check these guys out on Instagram at HydroWick Drainage or at hydrowickdrainage.com.
I love just getting texts and messages from bits of the episode. Super funny.
Oh, yeah. People are coming after you.
No, they're laughing. Robert will always send me a text. He's texted about Wrenchy this time.
Oh, good.
Always funny.
Yeah. Yeah. People like that Wrenchy came back. I had one right away from Ord Wino. Like as soon as I put the box up, he came flying in and
40 dogs.
he said, had my bro listening to last podcast. He loves that Trevor was clowning on me. Fuck Philly.
It's all out of love,
There
except
you
for
go.
this week, big guy.
It's coming up.
Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be last week
Right. It was this past weekend.
because it's
Yeah.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
So best of luck.
So, I mean, since we're on that, Lil Kirchy goes Super Bowl predictions, question mark. He goes Ravens, Eagles, Ravens wing. Sorry, I'm a Ravens fan, not sorry. That would be a really killer Super Bowl, but dude, your guys' offense isn't as good as Miami's. And do you guys see what we did to Miami's offense? So,
Best of luck.
sorry, pal. I don't think that y'all would win, but it would be a killer game. It would be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. Just get there and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. You guys got to make the playoffs first. So I think they got a good record. I don't know. I don't pay attention to any other birds. Yeah, your turn now.
So I have a bunch of like repeats on here, but try and find a couple good ones.
Well, if there's repeats, we'll just skim through it extremely fast because I got a couple of good ones. We got 13, actually 14 this week, so we've grown in 2.
There you go.
And one of them is just a comment. Actually, this is pretty cool. I'm actually going to be able to more than likely meet and hang out with Yardheart a little bit, also known as Lyle. He's coming to San Diego next week, and he's got a tee time at 2 of my favorite courses, being Aviara and, of course, Goat Hill Park.
Wow. That's Lyle Gibbs, right?
Yes, sir. So
There you
I
go.
think I'm going to go scooch my way over to Goat Hill when he gets out there and show him
Swing a
outside.
couple. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. So that was one of mine. So I guess 13 questions. Although he did ask what's the course record. And sorry, Lyle, you don't want to play my course. It is complete garbage right now.
All right, George Cross, biggest mistake you've made on the course. Like, I
Showing
think
up every day.
We've been through that a few times. Yeah. I mean, we all make mistakes. Nothing
Yeah.
tragic.
I can't think of a biggest one. Almost dunking a mower in a bunker. Getting things stuck. It's usually it.
Yeah.
I guess I did rebuild a pipe fitting once and forgot to glue one part. And then we pressurized it and realized that that one joint wasn't glued.
Didn't go well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just leaked out of that one spot. And then I had to completely take it apart and rebuild it and re-glue the whole thing again. So I guess that was probably my biggest mistake. That one was,
And you
that was a
learned.
stupid one. Yeah.
Right? You'll never make that mistake again, which is the
Yeah.
biggest thing on the golf course.
Yeah.
Kind of have to
Right.
make some mistakes.
Yeah, you do.
It's like those little fountains that you put in the pond sometimes when you turn them on and they don't bubble properly because they haven't plugged in backwards, so the fan's spinning the wrong way.
So you're sucking it in. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that one time. I was actually up at the panel turning it on, and there's two guys standing down looking over it. They're like, "No, no, it's not working. It's not working." And I knew right away that it's because it wasn't fucking plugged in the right way. So I just turned it around, plugged it in. They didn't move. They got fucking soaked.
Nice. That's what you get, guys.
Oh, that might be one of my biggest mistakes because those guys were pissed. It was funny, but it was also like, well, now we're soaked and dirty from the pond water.
So this can kind of answer that answer there will kind of answer this question from Gecko Knight. What is the dumbest but most fun thing you've done at work, either alone or with coworkers?
Yeah, well, I mean, that might be there. That was
Yeah.
one of them. It was kind of dumb on my part because I knew they were close, but at the same time, I thought they knew what the problem was. I thought they were going to be like, "Oh, it's spinning backwards. We're going to take a couple steps back now." Nope, just going to keep looking at it.
That's funny.
Bang.
I've always enjoyed just when the course is closed, like with this previous or my current course, we've had floods, so like my back nine's been closed. Just rerouting the course and playing different tees to different greens.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just making your own track.
Not too many options because a lot of trees and hills, but the ones that I can do are super fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not really dumb, right? But it's kind of cool.
No, he said the most fun thing, the dumbest but I guess he does say dumbest but most fun. I don't really have anything because I don't do anything dumb ever other than speak.
You're not dangerous with the equipment at all?
Oh, I will rip around on a triplex, but I've never hit anything or flipped it or nothing. But I will drive it like it's a freaking Tokyo Drift.
But he's got a clean driving record, so
Yep.
leave it.
Knocked on wood.
Right.
Carry on.
Revis 38. What do you do for fun outside of golf? I play in a hockey league in Nashville, he says.
That's pretty cool.
That is
What do I
pretty
do
cool.
outside of golf? I drink.
Yeah. Well, golf is like your big pastime
Yeah, I
outside
really
of work,
don't.
eh?
My wife and I like to go to like different pizza restaurants and try different pizzas and hang out and go to the beach and get coffee at different like local shops. I really don't do anything other than play golf and hang out with my wife. That's about it. Again, when I travel, it's mainly to play golf or I'm going with my wife. So it's like,
Yeah.
I really don't do anything else. I do a lot of artwork on the side, but I wouldn't really call that like something.
Yeah,
Super
that's one of your
fun.
hobbies, eh? That's one of your pastimes. You're good at
Yeah.
it. Like not everybody can just fucking pick up a pen and paper and draw. It's
I haven't
tough.
done it in a while. Yeah.
You got to work those muscles out. I'm kind of the same with the wife and the 2.5-year-old all the time. So whatever he's up to, that's what we're doing. I do play hockey a couple times a week when I can to stay in shape, but we're at that time in our lives when, it's not really all about us anymore.
That dinosaur costume was absolute heat, though.
Yeah, it was a little big for him, so he was like fucking like a
Perfect.
mascot.
I think you need to try it on.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Turf Guy 52. When an employee calls in sick, what method is preferred for contact, call or text?
This is my thing. Fucking do it at night. Do it the night before. If you know you're not going to be able to go to work in the morning, do it the night before. I get it if
it's
shit
gotta be
happens in the
several
morning.
hours.
Like
Got to be several hours
you
before.
can't wake up and then not be able to go to work. Like there is the odd day where it's like, okay, I woke up and I have the flu, or I woke up and I physically can't drive my car. Like, okay. But just the odd text where it's like, hey, yeah, I woke up, I don't feel great, I'm not coming to work. Like you would have
and then
known
you have to
the
be
night
there at
before.
5 and it's like 4:45. You're like, dude, really?
Yeah. But it's all about your relationship with your superintendent. If your superintendent trusts you, like, you guys can have that relationship. If you don't really have that trust with your superintendent, don't fuck with that.
It's gonna happen, and you just make the call. I've had dudes text me 7 minutes before start, like, hey, there's traffic. I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late. It's like, all right, cool.
Cool.
That's fine.
Thanks for letting me know.
And-
Now
and
I know
it's-
you're gonna be here. I can
Yeah.
plan for what you're gonna do.
Exactly. And it's rare. And like my situation being so small, like if someone calls out sick, it's kind of like, all right, cool. But if it becomes a pattern, that's when we have a problem. Like
Big
we
time.
had a guy who would call out almost every Sunday. I'm like, dude, you need to be here. Like,
Right.
you get a couple, that's fine, but you got to be here. So I
Exactly.
don't care if they call or text. I don't think any of them have ever called me to tell me they're sick because I'm perfectly good with a text. If you're going to lie about it, it's on you, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all my guys are hourly. So If they miss work, then I just save on hours.
You're
on
not getting
budget,
paid.
so it's fine. I don't care.
That's a big thing too. You're the one punching the clock. So if you can't go to work, you're not making money. So,
Yep, and that's
but
not my
just let
problem.
people know so those guys can plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I need. Just let me know so then I can reroute.
The photog's view. When is it not okay to step it down? Most of the time.
Yeah, 90% of the time. Winter time when it's like rainy, when you've been told like, hey, I know there's a lot of people out there, just to, cruise, get what we can done. Never a morning job, I can tell you that. But I think very rarely is it okay to step it down. If you need to, if it's really, really hot, obviously pause, take a break, get in the water, shade, sit down if you need it. I don't know if you consider that stepping down. It's way more of a safety thing. But
I thought he
yeah,
was talking about like a divot.
step it down.
Yeah,
You don't, I think you'd be more specific.
maybe.
If it's a divot, I don't know. It depends on where you're at. If it's
Yeah.
Bermuda grass, it's not going to do anything. If it's wet ryegrass, like you're in the Pacific Northwest, then yeah, you want to step on it.
Right. Like I don't know if is that a term in golf, like step it down?
No,
No.
not
Okay.
that I've heard of.
That's where I went
That's
with
why I
it.
think. That's why I think my first assumption was correct. Then
You could be right, like stepping it down a notch, taking it
yeah,
down a level.
elaborate next time.
Yeah.
All right,
Guy.
Puffingtons.
The boys.
How can players show more appreciation to their course and crew whose paths they may not cross? Phenomenal question, and a very difficult one to answer, kind of.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
How can players show more appreciation to their course crew whose paths they may not cross? The afternoon crowd, essentially.
What a fantastic question.
I have an answer, and it took me all day to figure it out.
Go for it.
No, you're up. I asked the question.
Dude, all I would say was a tip jar, and nobody's been fucking jumping
No
on
one's
that.
gonna
So
do a chip jar. No, just fix your ball marks. Fix your ball marks. Fix your divots if necessary. Fill them up on the fairways if you have little sand things on your carts or whatever. If it's a cart path only day, stay the fuck on the cart path. Just follow the rules and just be a decent golfer. That's all you need to do. And
taking
if you
care of
see
the
someone,
course, right?
if you see someone screwing around, call them out on it.
Yeah.
If you're at a private course, which most of the time private courses don't have that, but yeah, just take care of the golf course. That's what you can do.
Yeah. Take care of your shit. That's a great answer because that's the best way to say thank you. Is just like here.
Also, you can just tell the head pro or the GM, whoever is at the desk, like, hey, the course is in awesome shape. Like, please relay that because sometimes they will. And that's it's always good to hear from people that the course is awesome.
No, that is a good way to put it though. Like it's a way to say thank you. Just take care of the course.
Fix your ball marks on the greens. It's the biggest one.
Are you the type of guy that like at a restaurant at the end of your meal, you got the plates stacked up at the side of the table with the cutlery and everything? Yep, here you go. You can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a ball mark fixer right there.
Also, when I take a shirt off a hanger at a clothing store and put it back, I put it back on the hanger or I refold it.
Like a human being.
Because I've been in those situations and refolding 1,000 shirts at Zoomies sucks.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah. Wim the greenskeeper, which food truck do you have to stop at?
Oof.
There's not a consistent thing of food trucks around anywhere on the planet where I can give an answer and you're going to know what it is.
Yeah, everybody's got something different. I'd say for poutine though, those are the ones that make me stop. A nice hot poutine truck because that's the best way to get it. Is at one of those chip stands.
Yeah, we have a lot of taco trucks.
Right.
So, but finding a good one, what's surprising is San Diego actually has pretty shitty Mexican food. So, yeah, it would probably be a taco truck.
Tacos.
Yep.
I got to win one over here. How to get club members more involved in the golf course. Tips for fun jobs or chores. So I've heard of like having members go out and help with leaf cleanup, putting straw down on greens or tarps down on greens. I've seen that. Helping with like, if you do any big cutting of trees and there's a bunch of logs to be moved or things like that, like project times. We've had guys come and help us with things like that, but
I completely understand having pride in your club, but if I'm a member somewhere and I pay a decent amount of money to be a member there, if you ask me to do any of those, I'm going to be furious.
I don't think anybody's ever asked. It's always just like a voluntary sign up thing, or we have people that approach
Which is
us.
fair. And
That's
I've
just what I've
never
seen.
heard of that around here.
I think it's an off-season thing. Like once the course up here starts to close, we have people that are retired. They have nothing to do. So it's like, oh, what are you doing at the golf course tomorrow? Well, we're putting tarps out. Do you want to come fucking help? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
my HOA course that I did, I had a retired guy who always wanted to do stuff. I'm like, if you want to go pick out bunkers, be my guest. So
Just
that's
to
kind
keep
of a
busy
different
and
thing.
something to do,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
because that course had 10 people played it a day. It was
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I couldn't. That's a good thing going on there. But so going with seasons or whatever, Deegan 2114. If you're not on salary, what do guys do in the winter?
We have some guys that go on unemployment. Other people take seasonal jobs. Like a big thing up here in Canada is plowing snow. Guys get a lot of money to plow snow because, middle of the night, it's fucking coming down. And everybody's got to go to work in the morning and go to school in the morning. And the roads are full of snow and everyone's driveway's full of snow. So you can make a lot of money plowing snow. It's long hours and hard, but a lot of guys that work golf courses, they drive tractors anyways. Translates. Turf Guy 5'2", Toro or Rainbird irrigation system.
Okay, so we're gonna link this into Caddy Smacked. Thoughts on the Toro link system? Better or worse than Rainbirds? So twofer.
Sometimes working on the Rainbird heads can be a little bit easier, right?
I hate working on Rainbird heads. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
They have to be running, and you have to use the screwdriver to spin them and turn them and set them. No, it's the most obnoxious.
What about the snap ring?
Snap ring's the exact same as the Toro.
No,
They're the same
Toro's
thing.
down. They have like a bottom snap
No.
ring.
So link system, I'm assuming we're talking with the new
Oh,
Toro
like
heads.
everything's infinity.
Yeah, so I'm talking Toro Infinity, like in general.
Right.
Old Toros, yes, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The snap rings on the classic Rainbirds are obviously better because then Toro took that and made it into their new ones.
Likes what he likes.
Jordan Kaus, what is the best or worst thing your course has gotten on the news for? I sent a link to Adam. The best thing is the course renovation at El Caballero Country Club was I'm assuming was probably on the news. Other than that, my courses have never been on the news for anything that I can think of.
That's a good one. We had a bunch of pro football players, like CFL football players, playing at one of our courses, and this guy, he teed off, and the other guy was laying down, and he put a jock, like an athletic supporter, on. He had the tee sticking out of the athletic supporter, and the guy hit the ball, and it was all over the fucking news. And
CTE is prevalent in Canada.
Yeah, it was right before that whole fad of like guys laying down with balls stuck in their ass or in their teeth or whatever, and guys teeing off. So it was.
If you had to pick one, if you had to hold a tee in your mouth or in your cheeks, which one are you taking?
Cheeks all day. I'm not letting somebody swing in my
100%.
face.
Yeah, 100%.
God, there is that question out there though. If you had to hold one in your teeth for your buddy, who are you picking? Like if you had to have like one guy, do you know somebody?
Shane Dial.
Yeah, he's that automatic. Okay. See, for me, it'd be Devin Mantha. I'd let that guy hit a golf ball out of my teeth for sure.
Pow. Okay.
So yeah, he sent me this link, and he said, I guess the headline is "Fingertip allegedly bit off at wedding."
Sick, Jordan. You had Dahmer at the course.
I'm assuming. Oh, it's like a
Wait,
full-on
was
video.
this the finger that ended up in the Wendy's chili?
Bit off a wedding guest's fingertip.
Oh, we might have to back this up.
Guys were on a finger at a Waukesha County wedding last Friday, not while the rings were exchanged.
Oh, no, it was because someone bit off a wedding guest's fingertip. Fox 6's Brett Lemoyne live at the Waukesha County Courthouse. Brett, this fight apparently happened at the reception?
Yeah, it's a really odd story here, Ben. Prosecutors charged Nathan Lancey with aggravated battery, which is a felony, and a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. Police say this is all the result of drunken behavior at a wedding. We do want to warn you, some of the details are pretty graphic.
In progress.
One of the happiest days in a couple's life.
Pennsylvania Street. We've got a report of one person trying to fight off other people.
Took a dark and bloody turn. Town of Oconomowoc police were called to the club at Lac La Belle Friday for a fight at a wedding. A manager told investigators 21-year-old Nathan Lancey inappropriately touched another guest. The manager said people at the wedding took Lancey to a side room. The bride and groom even tried to calm him down. Investigators say Lancey started yelling and pinned the manager against the wall. 3 others had to hold the 6-foot, 300-pound man down. Police say Lancey
a report that someone bit a finger off.
Bit down on a wedding guest's hand and removed a half-inch of the person's fingertip with his teeth. Investigators say there was blood in the hallway and in the ballroom. Guests were in tears. Police say the bite was so deep, officers could see the victim's bone.
Wow.
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 So
Thanks for that,
outside
Jordan.
of maybe outside of a fire at a golf course, that's or our car stuck in a bunker. It's fucking. Did you see the video of those guys having sex in the bunker?
I
we
did at
posted it on
St.
the story.
Andrews.
At St. Andrews. What are we doing?
Just hole in one. The grass Zamboni, worst excuse a crew member has ever called out sick with. Hey,
Oh, it's a good one. We were talking about that earlier.
I constantly get like puking food poisoning, which is the easiest one because it's a 24-hour thing. I've never gotten necessarily a bad excuse, if that makes sense. Like there was never a dog ate my homework kind of thing.
Never like a guy called in sick one morning and you found out he was at a concert in a different town the night before.
Not that I can think of.
We had a guy that fired himself because he always would show up late and he'd always be like, I know, like, I'm sorry. And then one day he walked in and he was so fucking late. He's like, I know I'm fired. I'm just here to get my stuff. And my
Nice.
boss just like, oh, okay, perfect. So I guess we don't have to do anything then.
You're like you're not fired, you're just quitting. All right, George Cross 14. What's the most important equipment to learn? Your general cart. Know how to drive your cart safely. That's the most important one because that's the one that everyone starts on, the one that everyone does every day. That's the most important one.
Triplex would be probably the next one because that's.
I usually start people on the rough unit as their first one, but
So
a
you
small
move
one.
them down. So you put them on the
Yeah,
big guy and then get them scale them down.
Well, we'll start on the Sidewinder. So the mid,
Okay.
it's like like a little bit bigger than your typical triplex.
Yep.
Because you can't fuck up a rough cut.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you can tip buck teeth on tees and stuff like that. So yeah,
Fair enough.
get them used on that, and then do tees and collars and
Yeah, because if you
green.
can operate a Sidewinder, the triplex is virtually the same thing.
Yep, up down. James Skinner, opinions on electric tools instead of gas, less maintenance or more headaches.
Well, I think we're definitely going that way. Just starting to make them better and better.
Yeah, it's starting in, I don't remember what year, but they're banning the new sale of gas equipment in California. Everything else will be grandfathered in, so you can still use it and keep it and everything. It is a little bit of a headache with the electric, unless you have a ton of batteries. Milwaukee makes a portable charging pack, which is pretty rad. I would only do Milwaukee if I had to go full on battery. We have 2 battery powered weed eaters right now that are pretty bitchin'. They do, I don't want to say they fly through batteries, but they go through them. Gas powered's obviously superior, but working on small engines is a pain in the ass. So if they start to break, it's a pain. People can spill gas on grass. That's a pain. Starting them cold is a pain. You having to turn them off when golfers are close, if you're at that kind of club, is a pain. The electric one is, you can just keep on going, or you just take your hand off the trigger and it's dead silent. So
yeah,
I think they got good, and they have headaches on each side, and then way less maintenance, obviously, on the battery powered ones.
Yeah.
Way less.
And the fact that they have the charging banks that you can bring out on the golf course, so you can have like 4 or 5 charging, 2 or 3 going and 2 or 3 charging at the same time. That's really nice.
Yeah. Or you charge them all at night. You can have all the banks in the cart and you just bring out 5, 6 batteries, which the biggest thing is those batteries are a couple $100 a pop. So, but think about it to the cost of gas.
Yeah.
Which those things, which it's going to take a while to add up, but at some point it's going to cross that path.
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, we are definitely heading in that direction. Look at all the electric vehicles on the road now. Every brand's got one.
Revis 38, you have given your bucket list courses. What are 3 people you would have your bucket list playing group? This is one we've actually done before too.
Yeah.
Let's do, I think we did Dead or Alive last time, so let's just do all alive bucket list playing group of celebrities and or athletes.
I thought we already did this one though, didn't we?
We did Dead or Alive.
Right.
This is all live. Who do you want to play with? That's a celebrity or an athlete, just to make this a little different than the ones we've answered before.
Well, I've always said that I'd love to go golf with Rory and Tiger. As impossible as that would obviously be, I think those two guys would be in there. To throw in a little something extra, I don't know. I feel like Steph Curry would be a lot of fun to be out there with. Pro
He's
athlete,
super
different
good.
sport,
He's super good.
and he's a fucking sick golfer.
He's probably going to play on the PGA when he retires from basketball.
That's so cool. I love
or at
that.
least attempt to. I would imagine he's going to attempt to. He's very, very good.
Yeah, and such a good guy too. Family guy. He's got a lot going on. I've never really been like a Golden State fan, but I've always been a fan of his.
Yeah,
So I think it
same.
would
I
be kinda
can't
cool.
stand the Warriors. So I'm going to go a completely different route. I'm going to play with Shane Gillis. Oh, you just mentioned someone that I was going to play off of. I don't remember, but I'll go like Shane Gillis, Mark Wahlberg, and
Marky Mark's a good one.
and
It's a good golf one. Tom Brady.
No, but I'll
Tom.
go. I'll go Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Eagles.
Oh wow, there you go.
Okay, and then that's it, I think. Yeah, Yard Hard is coming. We did get a couple more locations pop in as we were on the show. We got Sparks, Nevada, and Ames, Iowa.
Beautiful.
Pretty dope.
Couple other Americans
All right.
have a grass fact of the day. I don't know if it's turf, but it's grass related. How much pot could you smoke now? Why does grass make people itch?
Because they're allergic to it.
Oh, that is actually a good guess. Usually, it's because the tiny edges and bristles on the grass make small cuts on your skin, causing itching. You probably can't see the cuts, but they are called blades of grass for a reason.
Blades of Glory.
Phone drop.
Nice. So I just I Googled something. I'm not going to give away my Google, but it says fascinating and completely useless facts. In 2016, Mozart sold more CDs than Beyonce.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
If that's true, that's fucking cool.
Hey, it's on the internet, so it's true.
Gotta be. Yeah. Nobody lies on the internet.
Riding a roller coaster can help you pass kidney stones.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is it the adrenaline or is it the up and down?
Dude, this is a fact list, not WebMD.
Right. We don't need to dive into them. It's just the facts. Hard facts. I don't have anything else written down. The only other thing I wanted to mention, we had the last 2 weeks, we've had 3 different people from 3 completely different countries reach out and mention mental health. I've been wondering if it's kind of because it's towards the end of the year for a lot of people. It's been a long season, but we've had a couple guests definitely talk about mental health in our industry. And if you ever need to talk to anybody about whatever you have going on, you should reach out and talk to whoever it is, whether it's a friend or somebody that's in some sort of mental health field, because it is very important. And your life is the most important thing you have. So we definitely encourage that. Reach out.
Yeah.
Sucks getting those messages, but I think those people want to
No, that's them reaching out right there. So it doesn't suck. It is pretty rad. Good on you for doing so.
taking the first steps. Everybody struggles with something different. So just admitting what your issue is and figuring out how to get better. It's not like it's something you're going to deal with forever. And maybe it is, but there's people out there to help, and put your pride and ego aside sometimes when it comes to stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of compliments about the show as of late too, which is really neat. People from all over saying they enjoy it and are having fun listening, and that's cool. I appreciate you guys. I'm extremely tired, so that's why I don't sound excited.
But no, yeah, we definitely appreciate that. The show is growing and in a positive way. So please keep doing what you can.
I'm exhausted. I'm about to go have an ant war. I don't know how they're coming out of my top upper cabinets. I can see them from here.
Have you heard about the whole thing about not killing them?
No.
I had such a bad problem this year, and I would kill them. So if you kill them, the other family members and friends all smell that, and they come to the dead bodies.
Yeah, that's why I light them on fire.
Just disintegrate.
With a lighter.
Not a magnifying glass?
I don't have the time.
No, we don't got time for that. We're grown men. We got lighters now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they can be a fucking problem.
They're
Especially in shoulder seasons, right? When they're moving.
they're a monster problem right now. I did like a barricade thing around my house too. They're literally coming out of my upper cabinet. I don't know how they're up there. So I need to find their entry point and spray it and then light all these other on fire.
Yeah, and start caulking the holes.
It's too big.
And that'll do it.
I'm done.
Yeah. Keep your reels fucking sharp, fellas.
Yep. We're gonna go to war now. Oh, they're coming out of my light socket too. Lock and load.
Well, it wouldn't be a classic Turf Today episode if we didn't end things off with a little Boston Levi. And I know you've missed him. This is his newest. You better believe, too, Mike Mack and me, if we ever have a Turf Today live show, live event, you will be lighting up that stage, brother. It'll be a lot of fun. So, like I said, here they are, Boston Levi with Heaven is Burden.
I met a man last night on the corner. Had no shoes and a bottle of wine. Said he'd spare some news if I could spare some time. Told me of all the ones before him, how they slowly lost their mind. In all their lives they'd only stay in line. Heaven is burning from the inside out. There's no stopping it now. Listen to me, there is no way out, so just slow it down. Whatever happened to the old days, the so-called simpler times? I count my stars, just glad to be alive. Now we're running from the answers, destroying our true selves. And we're all doped up on being someone else. Heaven is burning from the inside out. No, there's no stopping it now. Listen to me, there is no way out, so just slow it down. I'll be anyone but me. I'll be anyone but me. What do you like? Who do you love? What do you dream of?